I always wanted to play drums when I was younger. I was always tapping on my legs. When I finished high school, I decided to buy a drum kit. It was just full throttle. Kind of all this pent-up energy, just trying to do what I always wanted to do. My hand was doing weird things. There's a real lack of control, and it just didn't really feel natural. There was just certain things in my playing that weren't improving. Eventually I went to see a doctor, and he diagnosed me with dystonia and told me that I shouldn't pursue drums. I knew that there was just no way I could stop, that there had to be a way around it. So eventually I just had to kind of learn different ways to do things, and now I'm playing in numerous bands and teaching drums. I've been playing drums for about 5.5 years now. Yeah. I had no experience in film at all until last semester. I made a documentary for a project for one of my classes. I just remember sitting in the editing room and thinking, this is the same rush I get when I play drums. Like, I really love doing this. And so whenever I get that feeling, it's just kind of, I know it's something I have to pursue.
The reason we started the school really was my activist background. I wanted young people to change the world in terms of their ability to create their own media and tell their own stories.
And it is just a little school in the woods on Galiano Island that never should have worked in the first place. But for some strange reason, it's turned into this creative bubble that's really managed to get the best out of all the students that come here.
We started realizing, as the people that came and really responded to it, that it actually was, I guess, a place where dreamers get turned into filmmakers.
When they told me I was awarded the Gary Kramer Scholarship, I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. I don't know who Gary Kramer is, but it's nice that I get to go to film school.
Gary Kramer worked here during a few of the programs that we ran here, and sometimes in a kind of a self-deprecating way, he'd say, I'm just the cook, but he knew quite well that giving people food was a symbolic and actual form of nourishing people, and that this was a place of creative nourishment. His medium was music. He had a deep understanding and respect for the creative process and really encouraged people to experience voice. He was an advocate, I think, for self-expression.
Gary Kramer, who is an old friend of mine, I've known him for many years, was in a horrific car crash 3 years ago. Unbelievable. Shouldn't have lived. But the strength he found to have a positive, tremendously positive attitude about life. He became a musician. Again, but he went back to it, and he was going to become a writer, and he was, he was bursting with life.
Everything is rolling, everyone is slowly coming around. Everything is holy, everything is a rolling. Everyone is slowly coming around.
A year ago, he passed away. He'd had a great life. He'd gone for it. Gary went for it.
I came to the realization that it was because of him that I was able to come to this school and develop my newfound passion for film. I think any artist, the reason we pursue it is because we have ideas that we're trying to get out. That's that's the only reason I practice drums as much as I did and play. If someone says you can't do something, doesn't necessarily mean you can, it just means that they haven't thought about other approaches.
The only piece of advice is go for it. Go for it. Just do it. what can happen? You can just fail. I mean, no big deal. Fail, go for it again, and just keep going for it.
All it takes is one light to see the whole world. All it takes is one light to find a pearl. All it takes is one light shining in the dark. All it takes is one light to see where you are. All it takes is one flame burning in the wilderness, giving as it takes, giving as it takes, a purity within, purity without anything left to talk about. Think about